Please welcome Ben Collins and Julia Angwin.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How's it going?
Thank you for sticking around.
Yeah.
We're going to try to make it fun, okay?
Yeah, the music, it really does sound like a planetarium that's trying to kill you. Doesn't it?
It does.
How is everybody? How's everybody's dealing with everything that's going on? I think it's bad.
You know, you might be onto something there, Ben.
All right, cool. They gave me a clicker, and I'm not really sure what's in it, so we're going to just
Let's click.
Oh, here we go. Hold on, is this up? All right, cool. Oh, wait, we have a newspaper again. Hi, by the way, I'm Ben, I'm the CEO of The Onion. Julia, say who you are.
I am Julia Angwin, investigative journalist, and leading a new initiative at Harvard on independent media.
That's cool. We're that, but we don't tell the truth about anything. This is one of our front pages from a couple weeks ago. We brought back our newspaper, and we have 65,000 subscribers. You can subscribe online and get it in your mailbox, along with all the other dog shit junk mail that you get. And all of you should do it. I think I'm just going to keep pressing through this. Here we go. Oh, this is the... We have ads in our newspaper, but they're not real. And this is in our new one. You were the first people to see this brand new Toyota advertisement.
Wait, what kind of lawyer bills do you have?
Oh, we have a lady named Paula who tells us it's fine.
Okay.
And so far, she's been correct. Just saying.
I don't know if Toyota's seen
There's
that
another
one yet.
one. This is Pringles. Once you pop a great and terrible wheel set in motion. This next one's for the crew, for this crowd, I think.
Oh.
Tough one. These are all in the new one. You better get the new fucking paper. You people better pay for this shit. Yeah, this is Planned Parenthood. This was in our last one. I think I'm going to end after this slide because it's fitting.
Yeah.
Global Tetrahedron is the parent company that owns The Onion. It owns a puppy mill, I believe, is how they make most of their money. And that's it. So you can take that thing down now. And maybe play some scary music when you do it too. So yeah. Anyways, that was just a nice little
Just to get you guys all warmed up.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to do this crazy work in this crazy time.
Yeah.
But first, I want to read you my favorite 3 Onion headlines.
Yes. Let's go.
Okay. Democrats condemn ICE for murdering without proper warrants.
Yeah.
Trump RX unveils $1 million citizenship pill.
That's true. Yeah, that's from last week.
And truly, this is the heart and soul of The Onion. No way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens.
Yeah.
As you probably all know, or maybe you don't, The Onion runs this headline every time there's a mass shooting.
Yes, we run it 39 times, I believe.
Yeah. That's unfortunately not a joke, but a joke.
Yes, that is true.
So I have just finished writing a book on how to fight authoritarianism. It's coming out in June. It's called On Courage, How to Be a Dissident in an Age of Fear. Just a random topic, no reason for it. But one thing I learned in reporting this book was that satire and humor is actually a really effective way to fight tyranny. There's a guy, the Serbian student movement is sort of the famous canonical example of this. They made fun of Milosevic, and I don't think that's exactly what drove him out of office, but it really hurt his feelings.
Yes.
And that was a win.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, do you see yourself as part of an anti-authoritarian movement?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Not on camera. I'm just kidding. Yeah, look, there's a reason we're doing this right now. I took over The Onion 2.5 years ago, and when I took it over, it was in private equity hell. It was in a rough shape, and it was one of the last places with real guardrails it had better guardrails than the journalism places I'd worked in the past. The room was really dedicated to sticking to their process about what it was. And I knew that Elon Musk had tried to buy it in the past, and if he had caught wind of this, he'd probably try to buy it again. And I feel like a world in which Elon Musk owns The Onion let's just all just jump off the cliff together at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I did that with that in the back of my mind. And then it became very serious over the last year where we realized, wait, everyone's just abandoning their principles. All these places that had those guardrails, had those rules about what I thought was adhering to the truth and not cowing to power, and all those myths apparently that I learned in journalism school and read in those like big Edward R. Murrow books when I was growing up. Nobody fucking cared. Nobody cared at all. And I was like, well, it's our moment. And I do remember after the election seeing all this take place. And like, for example, 8 days after the election, we bought InfoWars for the first time, and then it got taken away by a judge who got very scared. And we had this come to Jesus moment where it's just like, what are we gonna be? Are we gonna be like a silly little newspaper that has the headline, "Poor Sleep linked to Gong," which is a great headline? Or are we going to be something bigger, especially when everybody else is just sort of abandoning their place in the world? And we chose to go for it. And I am deeply, deeply proud of the staff for doing exactly what they've done. And, we've gone hard. We have not stopped. We've not let up. And I think it shows in our newspaper.
The thing that authoritarians dislike just as much as they dislike satire about themselves is independent media.
Yeah.
They do not like independent, fearless media. And you're also that.
Yeah.
So you are a target. And I'm curious, what is that like? Are you guys, do you have your phone on lockdown mode?
I sure do.
I highly
Everyone put your
suggest.
phone on lockdown mode. It almost saved that Washington Post reporter who had, but it's a long story. Yes, look, first of all, to get back to your original point too, humor does cut through. Satire is more protected than other kinds of speech all throughout the world. Yeah. I think you can probably talk about this a little bit, but there's gestures privilege, which allows you to just kind of say stuff about people. And this has been abused by the right forever. They just say, they're just joking around at the end of the day when they're actively doing pogroms, setting up concentration camps, trying to get every trans person they know killed. That has been weaponized. All of the stuff that we've used as speech protections in a break glass scenario has been weaponized every single day by fascists throughout the United States. But humor cuts through it. Humor gets through to these people. That makes them really upset, and it makes them spin out and spiral out and go nuts. And this is true all the time, as you know, from your book, which is out in May?
June.
Called On Dissent, I believe?
On Courage.
On Courage.
Yes.
All right, cool. I like On Courage better. I'm glad that you didn't ask me for help on that. But all throughout time, the thing that actually gets to them is the deep emotional truth they're trying to hide. And that's what The Onion can do, and that's what satire can do, is really drive a stake in their heart.
In my reporting, I ended up falling in love with the writing of Václav Havel, who was a Czechoslovakian dissident, and he wrote The Power of the Powerless, this essay about sort of what does it take to live in what he called totalitarian times. And the thing that he talks about is that authoritarian regimes, tyrannical regimes are built on lies, and you must accept the lies. And the power that powerless people have is to not accept the lies,
yes.
Right? And it interests me because for you guys, there's something weird about this moment where some of the lies are themselves comedy, right? So the eating of the pets.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do you fight comedy with, how do you uncomedy the comedy of the farce?
I think the math of it is that you have to go at 1.25x speed. You can't, bad comedians go at 2x speed and they burn themselves out even if they're funny occasionally. We just go, slightly harder than the rest of the world. For example, one of my favorite headlines from the last couple months is, and it accomplishes several tricks. It was Stephen Miller dead behind eyes at 37, which when you read it, you're like, oh. It's does a bunch of things. So there's, there is, if you're doing it right, there's art. And I think the good news about fascists is they're inherently artless. They don't understand it. They don't like it. And we have this weapon that they do not have. And it's more enduring. We were talking backstage about the collapse of the Austin comedy scene, which hopefully you guys don't know anything about because you're regular people who have lives. But the like the podcast bro people are kind of like, oh, maybe I like ushered in a fascist experiment. Didn't mean to do that. Maybe I went too hard on the racism recently. And those scenes are collapsing. The stuff of 2 years ago where people turned their entire comedy into like bad Andrew Dice Clay bits about racism and immigrants and stuff. That shit is ending. And that's because bad comedy, bad observations, they have a shelf life. And putting in the work and doing the good stuff can last for a very long time. I still remember the Onion's 9/11 issue, which is 25 years old now. I remember everything on that front page. And that is, yeah, that's right. Should have won a Pulitzer Prize, by the way. Don't know why I didn't. And you guys remember it too, and it's because good, enduring work endures.
One thing about The Onion that's interesting, I was looking over it today and I was like, it's part of the format, right, is poking fun at legacy media, right? So it's a newspaper with sort of fake newspaper headlines, and like part of the joke is making fun of the normalization or the both sidesism of traditional media. Similarly, the Onion News Network is sort of making fun of TV news and that kind of the banality of that format. And I'm wondering if the kids who didn't grow up with this, do they get it? I asked my teenagers, and they had not heard of The Onion. So I'm wondering.
There's two things going on. First of all, our reader base was initially, before we bought Infowars, every white guy named Dan between the ages of 43 and 47, and they're very reliable people, by the way. They're great. But their kids, Dan Jr., they bring The Onion to school as like contraband. Because, first of all, it's their first exposure to a newspaper. It's unfortunate. But second of all, they think it's so fucking funny. And like we constantly get emails being like, hey, can you make a kid's version of this? And we're just like, no. The reason your kid likes it is because there's fucked up stuff in it. That's the point of The Onion. So like we're building that back the old-fashioned way, and they really, my favorite thing is seeing kids who really should not be reading it. It's the greatest thing. So there's one aspect of that. And then also we do, part of why we want to buy Infowars is that we want to play in that space of like influencer, shove this thing up your butt and you will heal your cancer kind of stuff that is happening on Instagram. We want to do that, and that's why we're still going after that guy's loot of nonsense and supplements.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, some of the best satire these days, outside of the Austin scene, apparently, is the video skits, right?
Yeah.
The short form video.
Yeah, no, there's like a clear democratization of that, and that's like good and bad. I think we've moved through a lot of the bad stuff recently because it's been incentivized by bad people. I think that guy who just said give people money, the guy was right. Nice job.
Yeah.
The reason the Austin comedy scene existed is because people like Peter Thiel and adjacent people were literally propping up, just giving the most odious people alive millions of dollars to make the dumbest shit imaginable, like awful stuff, as long as they would buy into the vague premise of Trumpism. And there was no counterweight at the time, and there kind of still isn't. That said, guys, I just want to stress this. There's just more of us than there are of them. They're despite having less funny money through crypto or whatever, despite having less of a cohesive message or whatever, nobody likes what's happening, and this is the moment to actually get it together and start funding stuff, start doing stuff. Just go for it. People do not like the fascist experiment, and they need a place, they need outlets who will say that overtly out loud.
Well, like all media, you have a billionaire, a pet billionaire. Everybody has one.
Sure. Yep.
Yours is Jeff Lawson of Twilio. I just want to know, how do you know you have a good billionaire? Because
Great question.
Looking at you, Jeff Bezos.
Look, when we first met him, we had this whole thing of, because it was going to get bought by somebody, and we really wanted it. And we were trying to piece together little bits of money here and there. And Jeff came through and was just like, if you guys run it, and I fund it, will that work? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And I would love that. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, look, Jeff's wife's a doctor. He's just a regular person. If he goes nuts, there'll be some sort of canary that I'll send up there. I don't know. I'll say the word purple 3 times in a row at a conference. I don't know. He's nowhere near it. And like we also, the biggest thing that we did is we sealed up what The Onion is, which is like the writer's room. Every day, the magic of The Onion is 15 writers go into a room. They come up with 10 to 20 headlines themselves, and they come out of that room with like 1 or 2 headlines. It's like the most inefficient, ruthlessly anti-LinkedIn AI brain shit that you could possibly do.
Yeah.
And that is, no matter what, that remains. And a lot of our staff has been there for 20, 30 years. So we wanted to make sure that remained what it is and then build around it and make it so it's in the best possible place. It deserves to be in a newspaper. It's best read in a newspaper. That's great. We give them more money for video. We do all that stuff. But like, it can't be touched. And if it is touched, probably the worst enemy you can have in the world is 15 furious comedy writers in a room together.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is that the only job AI can't take, actually? Maybe.
I think there are a lot of jobs that AI can't take.
But I mean, comedy, I have never seen a funny computer.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing. So AI, definitely true. AI is only funny when it messes up.
Yeah.
And I think that's, there's some element of that there. There's a guy named like Sergio Silly, I think his name. You should look him up on Instagram. But he's a casting director, and he tries to get AI to do basic human stuff, and it can't.
Yeah.
But guys, AI is the synthesis of all known things, and it's trying to find the middle of something, and comedy is just not that. Comedy is a weird non sequitur, and that's why it's so human too. Like, it's not going to get there in my lifetime, and if it does, then what I say at this conference doesn't matter because they're going to eat us alive. So who gives a shit? Yeah.
Yeah, well, you and I will be in the concentration camp by then anyway. So, you and I, once upon a time, not too long ago, were both tech reporters writing about, honestly, a lot about fake news.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that you got into the fake news business. Was this like a matter of you can't beat them, join them kind of situation?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, for me, I'm just allowed to say what I know is true. Like I left my job. I got suspended from my job. You guys can look this up in the New York Post and Breitbart and the Free Beacon if you'd like to. I got suspended from my job for being too mean to Elon Musk, and that's what I knew was like, and this is what it was. I knew it was the end of the road for me. And there's this cone of silence in traditional mainstream large-scale reporting places right now, and you know this. All of our friends, you just know this, all of our friends who are at the big places are shutting the fuck up. And they are coming up once every 6 months with a big story they did, and they're dropping it, and their bosses don't care, and they move along. Or they've quit, and they've moved to independent media, and they're busting their ass, and they're killing it. They're doing really good.
Or they just got laid off, and they're starving to death.
So, to me, what we're doing now is we're saying, we're allowed to say what is actually going on with this fake newspaper. And that sounds bananas, but that's how upside down it is. And it's like, I would say that's due to the straight up impotence of places like, or either impotence or fealty of places like NBC, ABC, Washington Post, New York Times, and a very extreme case of fealty, CBS. Like, those places have given up on their core mission, which is to dive deep into what's happening and to stand up in front of people and ask hard questions instead of trying to remain on fucking Air Force One.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people who've been on stage before us are really inspirational. Block Party and there still are people doing that fearless work, and we have to support them. So in our last...
Oh my God, yes. By the way, this is not, I live in Chicago. I have my ice whistle not on me. I don't, okay. Our city was under attack by the federal government, and you wouldn't really fucking know it from the news. Like, you just straight up would, and it still is in Minneapolis. And that is a dramatic failure. Block Club, Tribe, Unraveled, these are just like little things in Chicago that kept us safe. That's what the news is for, is to let you know what's going on in your neighborhood so you don't get picked up and dragged into a fucking concentration camp. It's the very baseline of what it's supposed to do. And the news is not doing that right now, except in these local levels. Those people behind there, they're actual goddamn heroes. They deserve a Pulitzer. And like, I hope you all go shake their hands.
Yeah.
I write jokes for a living. We do what we do, but they are really they genuinely, swear to Christ, saved a bunch of people's lives.
Yes. 100%. Well, in the last 20 seconds, what do you want everyone in this room to do?
I don't know. Realize what moment we're in, which is there are concentration camps in the United States, and they're picking people up off the street, kids up off the street, and using them as bait. This is not hypothetical. This is a thing that we see, and we got to step up as people who are in the media and how we portray this in public. It's happening here right now. Like, it is happening here right now. My girlfriend was indicted for standing in the street and protesting ICE. She was indicted by the federal government on a charge that hasn't been used since the 1800s for a conspiracy charge for 5 people she doesn't know. It is going on. They're going to, and I would like to challenge you, of all these people. If you don't think they're gonna come after you, you're fucking nuts. You're insane. And you gotta step up now while you still have agency to do it. You gotta step up with people that you love. And when you do, you will realize it is kind of fun.
And that's the real trick.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
Wait, hold on. I wanna know, is it gonna be okay? You wrote a book about if it's gonna be okay.
Oh, I did. Actually, I just want to say those, after spending a year studying how to fight authoritarianism, I feel more hopeful than ever because you know what? We are doing the work. The work that we are doing in this country every day is actually the work, textbook, movement, what needs to be done. Just more people have to do it.
That's right. Join us, it's funny.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.